What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Don coming live at you with a TruPlayaz Podcast, episode number 35. I'm going to talk to you guys about the Kevin Durant injury, and also let's talk about Joe Douglas becoming the New York Jet GM. We're going to start off with that first because I feel that this is for all my Jet fans. I know I spoke about this on my previous podcasts in regards to when Mike McKinnon was fired, and my feelings in regards to that. Joe Douglas was introduced as the New York Jet GM on actually yesterday. You know, the reason being that he was hired, he had turned down the position on 4 different occasions, and the Jets just had to make the pot whole so sweet enough so he couldn't resist anymore. So he ended up signing with the Jets for a 5-year contract, and now he's their new GM. He came from Philadelphia Eagles as a director of player personnel, and I heard good things about him. He has some history with Adam Gase, so there's not going to be a personality conflict or contrast between the two of them. So we'll see. Let's see how they work. Let's see how they work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Jet fan. I want my Jets to be back in the playoffs and win championships. So despite what transpired between Adam Gase and Mike McKinnon is doesn't matter to me unless they start losing. Right now, this is a clean slate. I believe they should have fired McKinnon when they fired Bowles to avoid the situation going haywire. But no matter, in my opinion, no matter who is the GM or who's the head coach, Christopher Johnson, Woody Johnson needs to change their way to conduct business as far as the steps in hierarchy. You can't have a GM and a coach report to you directly and not report to each other. In that sense, I feel like a coach should report to the GM. The GM should report to the owner. There's no two lines to the owner. There should be one line to the owner, which includes steps. The coach goes to the GM. The GM goes to the coach. The GM goes to the owner. Adam Gase and Joe Douglas had a relationship in Chicago prior to this, which does help out the situation. Joe Douglas slam dunked his press conference. He was different from McKinnon. McKinnon was reserved, and he was like, "Just follow the process." It seemed like Joe Douglas from the press conference is more of a leader, more of a motivator, who makes people go above and beyond their capabilities and potential. Despite his hire, the Jets still have a lot of holes to fill. They still got to get a cornerback. They still got to fix the offensive lineman, especially the center position, as well as possibly get another tackle. The left tackle from the Washington Redskins, I believe his name is Trent Williams. He's a little bit disgruntled right now, and he wants to leave the Washington. That's something hopefully Joe Douglas could swing. Maybe make a possible trade for without giving up too many draft picks for him, or losing too much salary cap space. And another thing that I noticed with the Jets was that they re-signed Bilal Powell. Bilal Powell had a season-ending injury last season, which he hurt his neck. Great to see him back on the team. I always wondered why they didn't re-sign him, and now I know why, because he had the neck injury. So we'll see what happens. See what he could do. It is a crowded backfield. You have Ty Montgomery, you have Elijah McGuire, and you got Le'Veon Bell. I think, in my opinion, you could cut Trenton Cannon. He's not good amongst those guys. He's not good enough to be on that squad. You got 3 possible players, flex players. All those running backs could be flex positioned out into a wide receiver set or a H-back set. There's a lot of things that can happen when you have these type of talented running backs in your backfield. The only problem with I believe the workload would be more with if Bilal makes the team, would be more of Bilal and Le'Veon than it is with Ty Montgomery, because Ty Montgomery could always go back to being a receiver, the original position he was drafted for. So like I said, we'll see what happens, see where we go from there. I'm kind of excited. Finally, the madness of the Jets is over for now. If they lose, the madness may come back again. But for now, let this GM come in, do his thing. I heard great things about him. I heard he helped architect the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl team. So he comes with some clout, some clout of success. So let's hope he brings that over with the New York Jets here. Okay. Now let's get to basketball, people. This is, I know everybody was waiting for me to talk about this. I know I've been lax speaking about the NBA playoffs because I'll probably discuss that more in this different episode. Why I wasn't too interested in the NBA playoffs. But the injury to Kevin Durant, he injured his Achilles in Game 5 of the NBA Finals against the Raptors. And everyone's dreams, all fans, from the Clippers, the Knicks, the Nets, the Lakers, their hearts dropped when this guy hurt his ankle, and it was definitely, it looked like Achilles. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, straight up. I believe he hurt his Achilles in the Houston series. It wasn't his calf. It was his Achilles the entire time, and he was trying to protect himself from his potential free agency, his free agency pursuers such as the Knicks, Lakers, Clippers, Nets. He just want to keep that quiet. Hopefully, he could just navigate his way through that injury, and he'll use the summer to heal up. And a lot of teams' futures went down the drain with that. But let me just go back to the game. What he did in the first 12 minutes of the game. In the 12 minutes that he played, he went 3 for 5 for 11 points. Looked very sharp, shooting the ball very well, but his movements was kind of limited. I think he was possibly favoring that foot a little bit, and then he tried to do a crossover against Serge Ibaka, and that's when he really, Achilles tendon really popped and finished him off. So that's pretty much, he was carried off. Did the fans cheer? I don't like people cheering for an injury. That's someone's livelihood. That's someone's body part. You shouldn't be cheering for when someone's injured. It's like cheering for someone who got shot. It's like cheering for someone who got shot. It's not when your friend you're cheering for that particular person. You don't do that to anybody. It was classless through the Canadian fans, but once Serge Ibaka and Kyle Lowry asked them to temper that enthusiasm down, the people started chanting KD, 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 KD. And a sign of respect towards KD, and which I thought kind of helped him rebound a little bit from the class, the tastelessness of some of the fans in the arena that was cheering his injury on. And let me tell you something: the Warriors, I'll tell you, they are extremely lucky to be in games to make the Game 6. If it was for the big shots from Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson in the fourth quarter, they would have lost the championship, blowing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and having Kawhi becoming Jordan-esque in the fourth quarter, scoring 10 points, 10 straight points, making big defensive plays. Let me tell you something: this Toronto team knows how to play defense. This is something that Golden State has never seen before in any of the NBA Finals trips. Is the defensive intensity that Toronto is bringing, the length that they bring to the court, with the defensive intensity, with the movement, with the ability to play the pick and roll so perfectly. The thing is, it was beautiful defense with Toronto, which they had to come with the same type of intensity for tonight's game, for Game 6. If they want to close the series out, they got to come with that same intensity. Van Vliet has hit big shots. Siakam has to hit big shots, and Kyle Lowry needs to hit big shots too. I know he missed a game-winning three-pointer with 6 seconds left, but Draymond has something to do with that. In his defense, he had his fingers on the ball, and he missed a 3-point shot to miswing the championship. We just have to see what goes on in Game 6. I can't wait to see that game. Even though I'm going to be at work, I will try to sneak and watch that game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not supposed to be doing that at work, but I will do that. And now, Kevin Durant went through successful Achilles surgery. You know, he ruptured his Achilles yesterday. He says everything's going great. He's going to opt out of his $31 million contract next year. He's going to opt out and then look for a new deal. Now, this is where me as a Knicks fan, I'm kind of worried about this because knowing the Knicks all these years, they always look for the quick fix and not the smart fix. And I believe, as talented as he is, I would not sign him at all. Because truth be told, you sign him to the max. Guess what? He's only going to be playing at least 2.5 years of that contract. Why would you pay a player $38 million just to sit for a whole year? A year and a half, just sit the whole year and a half. We went through this with Porzingis, with the ACL. Now we're gonna go and do it for Kevin Durant. Nah, the best bet for the Knicks is save the cap room, and look for a different player, and don't even spend the cap room. You don't need to spend the cap room. Just sit down and get another draft pick, and build your team through that way. You know, you still got Dennis Smith Jr. on the team. You still have some players. You still got Kevin Knox. You still got Mitchell Robinson. You got some young building blocks to use. Can I do without Ntilikina on the team? Yes, I can. Get rid of him. Kyrie Irving seems like he's gonna go to Brooklyn. He already fired his agent. Now he's gonna go to Rock Nation. So Rock Nation is gonna steer him right into Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that the Knicks should stay away, even though there's reports stating that they're going to still try to make an attempt to sign him. The better bet to all my Knicks fans right now, I'm gonna tell you guys straight out, is go all in on Kawhi. If it doesn't happen, stand pat and develop the players. Stand pat and develop the players. You don't need. The only guy I probably would spend the max on right now is Kemba Walker. I know people gonna be rolling out there. What? Kemba Walker? I said, yeah. Spend it on Kemba Walker. For me, even if Durant was healthy and he was coming to the Knicks, the better pairing is him and Kemba rather than him and Kyrie. Than Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Kemba's younger. He's much more durable. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Kemba's not younger than Kyrie. He's more durable than Kyrie, and he plays at the Garden. He played at the Garden when he was in UConn, so he has a distinct experience of playing in the Garden. He knows the struggles, the plight of playing at the Garden, and he's not intimidated by the Garden aura, so to speak. And like I said, this injury broke the Knicks' heart. It broke my heart. But by the same token, just stay the course and build a team through the draft, and hopefully you get one of those big-time free agents to come in and put the team over the top. It's not about just making the playoffs, not just being relevant again. It's about winning championships. And we got to stop. Knicks, and especially Knicks, need to stop doing that. And I believe that's the way they're going to do it. But they should do it. But knowing Dolan, and if he puts his foot in there, they're going to sign Durant. Durant is going to sit out a year and a half. And then come back and not be the same player. And then he's going to deal with criticism. And we already know how he is in regards with the media. We already know how that goes. So that's not a smart idea with the Knicks. I think the Knicks should stay away from that at all costs. But before I let you guys go, I want to speak about the latest Anthony Davis rumor. The Lakers and the Pelicans still working on a trade for him. The players involved would be Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, and the number 4 pick. They just need that third team to make it happen. We'll see what happens. You know, they're still trying hard. They're still trying to give LeBron one more shot at the championship. But I'm telling you right now, as long as Golden State is still together, that trio of Green, Curry, and Thompson, let me tell you something. Those boys are going to be tough to beat, even without Durant. Even without Durant, they'll still be tough to beat. So my prediction for Game 6, this is what the Raptors should do or need to do to cement their first championship in franchise history. Play that great physical defense. Okay, withstand the first 5 minutes of the high intensity of the crowd and the burst of energy from the Golden State Warriors. Those are two things that they have to do. The third thing, Kawhi can't do it on his own. He needs help. He needs help from Kyle Lowry. He needs help from Siakam. He needs help from Van Vliet. He needs help from Serge Ibaka and Gasol. If those guys are playing at optimum level, there's no way Golden State will beat that team in Oracle. I'm sorry to say that. Sorry for you Golden State Warriors fans. It's not going to happen. Those guys have to come up and represent. Play hard. Play great defense. Be smart because the referees are going to be. Those whistles going to be some quick whistles. I'm telling you that right now. Going to be some very quick whistles. So need to be careful. They're on the road. Keys to the Golden State Warriors is very simple. Draymond, stay away from the technical. Curry, Clay, stay healthy and hit your shots, and get some contributions from Iguodala and Cousins. If you do that, you guys will be back in Toronto for a Game 7. And my prediction is, guys, Raptors will win the championship tonight. My prediction, guys. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's my prediction. So, you may not like it, Warriors fans. I know that a lot of New Yorkers here who are Warriors fans. They're more bandwagon jumpers than they are Warrior fans, but it is what it is, in my opinion. But definitely, I'm going to sign off on this podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening on the podcast. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up on email, TruPlayaz Podcast at gmail.com, which is TruPlayaz Podcast at gmail.com. Send me your comments, feedback. I look forward to hearing from you guys very soon. You can listen to my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker Podcast, and SoundCloud, and soon to be on iHeartRadio. I'm working on that also, and also definitely check me out on Joey G Radio. Definitely check me out on that, as well as his website at joeygradio.com. Once again, this is your man Big Dom signing off for this podcast. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.